What's up, everybody? I want to welcome you to another encounter with Marcus Stewart. That's me. You can find me and follow me on all social media platforms. That's TikTok, that's Instagram, that's Facebook, that's here on YouTube at underscore Minister Marcus. At underscore Minister Marcus. I want to first say thank you for watching the show today. Whenever you are watching it, or if you listening, I want to say thank you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I do want to remind you that this is an actual podcast, so you can find this podcast on all of the podcast platforms wherever you get your music, Apple Music, Amazon, Deezer, if that's some of you, wherever you want to find it, you can find it as a podcast. So today's episode, I thought it would be cool to kind of walk some of you, my listeners, through this whole wealth thing, and everybody try to get rich, and everybody got these shortcuts and these things. But today's episode, I'm gonna give you three simple things. I said three simple things that you can do that would change your money forever. If you continue to do these things, your money will always, and I'm gonna say that, always be in the positive and not in the negative. So I thought it would be good to uh do this episode because I know so many brothers that be stunting. Females too. I know so many people that be stunting. You got the car, but you ain't got the money. And people, they try to judge by what's on the outside, right? By what you drive, or by, you may not be sporting the most expensive, and they think that because you not sporting that, or that you don't have it, or that you don't wear it, is because you can't afford it. And so a lot of times the people that do have that stuff don't have the money in their bank. So you got the nice car, but then if you ask them, like, but what your bank account looking like, you know, it'd be either under 100 or right at, and so today I wanted to give you guys three simple things that you could do to incorporate uh into your your life, that'll help your money to grow. And so I got these principles from a story that's in the Bible. It's about Joseph, the man. It's in the book of Genesis. Whenever you get time, read it. But I also got these principles are mainly, I got them from the Bible, but enhanced them with some of the books that I read. And I thought it would just be cool to share some of them with you. So I'm gonna just jump right into it. First off, let me start off by saying there are no secrets to wealth. There are no secret steps. Anybody that's telling you, or that you hearing like you could do this, and you know you're gonna get wealthy, it's gonna like a quick and easy path to being rich, it's all lies. I'm telling you that. It's all lies. I've tried so many things. I went to certain places and workshops and seminars, and it's all lies. I'm telling you. They don't tell you, and it is possible to make money that way, but it's not as easy as some people will make it seem. You always gonna have to put the work in. You always gonna have to put the work in, right? So I had to learn this. Everything that sounds good normally is too good to be true, right? And so, first off, fellas, the only way that you can build wealth is if you have a steady income. That means you need to have a job. I talked about this on one of my other episodes, how to generate your, how to, what you need as far as making money: a skill, a job, or a trade. You need a degree, you need a trade, or you need a skill. I said it wrong. You need a degree, you need a trade, or you need a skill. All of those amount to getting you a job. So first off, you need to have a job. You need to have steady income. I'm gonna say this before we go to this. Would be like the 1A to the first one. The 1A is that a man should always, or a grown up should always be able to provide for themselves. I always say what makes a man an adult, what makes a woman an adult, what makes a person an adult is their ability to provide for themselves. That means you need to have a steady stream of income. Steady stream of income. You need to have something coming in once every week, once every 2 weeks, or one big check every month, but you need to have a steady stream of income. If you do not have a steady stream of income, it is going to be hard for these three principles to work. So that is principle 1A. Get a job. Figure out a way to support yourself. All right. That's 1A. All right. And so the first one, the story that is in the Bible is about a man named Joseph. He could interpret dreams, right? And so the king of Egypt had a dream about seven fat cows, and then seven skinny cows. And in the king's dream, the seven skinny cows swallowed the seven fat cows. And then he had another dream. I don't want to quote it wrong, but it was another dream that basically I think it was like I'm gonna just say um barns of hay, like sheaves. There was seven fat ones, and then there were seven skinny ones, and the seven skinny ones swallowed up the fat ones. And so he wakes up. Nobody can interpret his dream. He finds out about a man named Joseph who is in jail. The king tell him, go get Joseph, go get Joseph out of jail. They go bring Joseph there. Joseph hears the dream. Joseph interprets the dream, and he says to the king, he's like, yo, this dream means like God is showing you that you're gonna have good plenty. You're gonna have times that are good, and then you're gonna have times that are bad. And the times that are bad are gonna be so bad that they're gonna make you forget all about the times that's good. And so what he says is that this man who he had just got from jail, read the story, it's a good story. But the man that he had just got from jail, he says to the king, he's like, King, look, this is what you need to do. You need to have a plan. You need to take 1/5 of everything that we get in the good years and save it up so that when the seven bad years come, we'll still be able to survive, right? And so the first thing that I want to point out is they had a plan. The first thing is manage your money. You have to have a plan. When I say manage your money, you need a plan for your money. You don't supposed to look. I don't know if anybody told you, but money is not the thing that you just get and you just let fly out of your hand. You got to have a plan with it. As there's a book, this book right here, I encourage all of you guys to get it. It is called Total Money Makeover by Dave Ramsey, right? And the reason why I recommend this book is because one of the principles that it teaches is, I'm gonna say it my way. It don't say it like this in the book, but it's basically like have a plan with your money. I say it this way: every dollar needs to have a destination. That is how you take control of your money. You're not supposed to just make money. You are supposed to control your money. How do you control it? By planning what you're going to do with it, by telling it where to go. You don't supposed to move on impulse when you spending your money. You're supposed to move on intention, right? And you say, I'm intentional about spending whatever I'm gonna spend. No, I mean planning it. Planning it. If it's not planned, if you didn't plan to buy it, you shouldn't be buying it. If you didn't intend before you went to that place, if you didn't already have written down or set in your mind before you got to the store to buy that thing, you should not be buying that thing. Plan. Do you have a plan for your money? Do your dollars have a destination? Or when you get it, you just say, I want to get that. And so you get it. I feel like buying this. And so you buy it. I want to eat this. And then you eat it. I'm telling you, if you don't tell your money where to go, somebody else will. And guess what? You will always be broke. Number one, come up with a plan for your money. He came up with a 14-year plan for their money. 7 good years, 7 bad years. I want to ask you this. Do you have a plan for your money for the rest of the year? Do you have a 3-month plan for your money? Do you have a 1 month plan for your money? Most of the people that I talk to do not. They only have what they want to buy, but they don't have a plan as to how they're going to go about buying it. I'm going to say this to you, my brother, my brother. You need to take control of your money, or somebody else is going to take control of your money. I guarantee it. When you don't have a plan for your money, somebody else is planning on taking your money, and you're going to always be broke. He had a 14-year plan for their income. They had a specific thing to do with their income for the next 7 years. I'm going to tell you this. Maybe didn't nobody tell you this, but you need to be having a 5-year plan, a 2-year plan, a 1-year plan, a 6-month plan, a 3-month plan, a 1-month plan. I would even say go so far as to say a 1-week plan. When you get that check, what do you plan to do with that money? And then are you actually doing what you planned on doing? I want to say this to you, my brother. It is hard for a woman to respect the man who can't manage his money, who won't manage his money, or who doesn't manage his money. It's hard for a woman to respect the man who can't manage his own money. I hope you hear what I'm saying to you. You got to take control. Number one, manage your money. Tell your money where to go. Money is a resource to be managed and controlled, not to just be spent. I say this to you, my brother. I say this to you. I encourage you. I implore you, my brother. My brother. Manage your money. Take control of your money. Right now, starting today, start taking control of your money. Your appetite should not tell you what you want to spend your money on. Your eyes should not tell you what you want to spend your money on. If you out here spending money on prostitutes, bro, I, I hope you watched the last episode. Conversation Rule the Nation, my guy. If you out here spending, I'ma just leave it at that. All right. I love you enough to tell you, homie. So look, first, number one, you got to learn to manage it. Manage it. Have a plan for it. The first thing that you could do to better your financial situation is to manage your money. Have a plan for your money. Have a goal with your money. Have a destination for your money. The first thing you can do is you can start by having a plan. Now, get this. This was their plan to save 1/5 of everything that they brought in, to save it. What does that say to me? To me, that says they learned to live off of 4/5. Because if five is the whole, right? It's the whole thing that we bringing in is five, right? You take away one of that. This is 1/5. They learned to live off 4/5 of what they brought in. What does that say to me? It's the B word. I know. Did nobody tell you that? I'm not talking about the other B word, not the one that the women don't like. I'm talking about this B word called budget. They had a budget. Get this, the budget is the plan, but the budget is also the working of that plan. In order to see the plan work, you got to work the plan. The budget means the discipline. So you manage your money. Number one is manage your money. Number two is working the plan. If number one is the plan, number two is working the plan by way of a budget. So you manage it by telling it where to go. The budget tells you how you're going to get there. I want you to think of managing your money as the destination. I want you to think of the budget as how you're going to get there. So if you say you want to save up $100 at the end of the month, you set your budget by saying, I need to save $25 a week. Then that is going to tell you, I need to not buy this, or I need to set aside for this, or I need to do this, or I need to do that. Right? The budget, this is how they were going to survive. They set a budget. If you don't want to go in debt, you need to budget. If you don't want to be broke, you need to budget. If you want to have a little bit of money left over, you need to budget. I want to ask the question: how disciplined are you with your money? How disciplined are you with your money? Are you one of those people that get a check and spend all of your money? Because I want to tell you this. I want to tell you this. It shows your level of immaturity when you buy what you want, but you have to beg to get the stuff and do the stuff that you need. It says, it speaks volumes to your immaturity, my brother. That's why people don't respect you like you want to be respected. That's why people don't give you the respect that you feel like you deserve. Is because if you always begging and borrowing, it's a sign of your level of immaturity. If I was going, now I don't, but if I was going to borrow, if I was going to beg, it wouldn't be for my necessities. They had a budget. It makes no sense to have a plan if you don't stick to your plan. You got to learn discipline with your money. That's what it is. It's one of the principles in the Dave Ramsey book. It talks about like the cash flow system. So like he says, take all the money off the card, get cash, right? And then stash the cash in envelopes. So let's say if this month I know I want to spend, let's say $100 on taking the kids to the movies, right? I take out the 100, I put it in the envelope, I write for kids, leisure. Or if I know my light bill is a certain amount of money, I take out that amount of money, and I write it on the envelope saying light bill or food or gas or whatever it is. If you like shoes, you write on there shoes. If you like necklaces or whatever it is, right? And set a certain amount of money in that envelope. And then when the cash is gone from the envelope, that means your budget is gone for that month. You get what I'm saying? I'm telling you to budget. The second thing is budget. Plan, but then work the plan. You work the plan by setting a budget. Put the money you plan to spend on whatever certain thing it is and write the name of it on an envelope. And when the envelope gets low or when the envelope is done and ain't nothing else in the envelope, that means the budget for that thing is done. And don't go get out another envelope to do that. I want you to get that. You will always be broke if you don't have the discipline to stick to your budget. Budget your money. Look, I had to learn this the hard way, and I'm thankful. My job taught me how to budget. The way that my job taught me how to budget is he gave me a lot of child support. What does that teach? That what did that teach me? That taught me to live below my means. Get this: when I said that there is no secret formula to getting rich, there is no secret formula to building wealth. Building is called building wealth because it takes time. You have to budget and live beneath your means. You should never live at the extent of your means. In other words, that means if you bring in $500 a week, you should not have bills that equal $500 a week. You get what I'm saying? If you bring in $300 a week, you shouldn't have bills that come to $300 a week. You should be living off, I would say, half of that or at least $100 beneath that. So if you bringing in $400 a week, you should be living off $250 a week. And you're gonna say, Marcus, how in the world am I gonna do that? That's for you to figure out, right? That means you might have to downsize, right? You might have to eliminate some stuff. But I guarantee you, if you don't have a budget, you will always be broke, or you will always be begging, or you will always be going to get a title loan. You will always be going to pawn shops. I vowed I would never go to a pawn shop ever again. Once I lost my base, I'm never going to a pawn shop. But it was a sign that I needed to budget. You might have to stop eating out so much. You might have to stop eating out for lunch. Why? Because it's not a part of your budget. You write down on the envelope, this is how much, right? I'm gonna spend on eating out this week. And once that money is gone, that is all of the budget that you have. I say that because most of the time when I say the B word, which is called budget, when I say that, people tune me out. They don't want to hear that. They think that you can win the lottery and get rich. Most of the people that win the lottery, they go broke within the first 2 to 5 years, probably less than that, because all you know how to do is spend. When all you know how to do with money is spend it, you lose it quickly. I say that because I need you to understand the sacrifice always comes before success. It works the same way with money. You got a budget. Having bills that equal your whole check will always have you broke and in debt, getting payday loans. I want you to catch that. You don't want to be the family member that's always begging. You don't want to be the friend that's always broke. Look, I have always said this. Hey, man, Just because I'm going don't mean I'm spending no money. And I don't need you to pay for me, right? I just don't, my budget for this is gone. Or sometimes I'ma just chill at home. I'ma do something different because that's not in the budget. Now get this. I'm gonna say this because I need you to know that a lot of those people that laughed at me about not going out when they was going out, about not buying this when they was buying it, about not doing that, all of those people that laughed at me then are broke today. They was broke then, laughing at me, but I had a budget. My budget was my plan, and I worked my plan. And now they broke, and I got a little something. I say that because sacrifice always comes before success. You got to know that. When I say budget today, budgeting today ensures that you're going to have some money tomorrow down the line. Failing to budget today is a guarantee that you're going to be broke tomorrow. I say budget today, budget. Wealthy people don't wish, they work the plan. People who have money, they don't wish for money. They work the plan. They stay in the budget and they stay living below their means. Rich people don't wish, they work. They work the plan. I'm telling you this, if you want to have you some money, you need to be able to work the plan. You have a choice to budget now and have money later, or spend now, don't budget now, and be broke later. I guarantee you, if you don't budget right now, you're going to be broke, you're going to be begging, and you're going to be borrowing. I want you to get this. Say it with me. Budget. Grow up, my brother. Grow up. Grow up. I know, didn't nobody tell you that, but I'm telling you, that's why it's called an encounter with me, because you needed this as your intervention right here, my brother. Budget your money so you can stop being broke. Nobody want to be asked. You shouldn't be asking your mama to let you borrow 40 at 40 years old, my brother. At 35, bro, you shouldn't still be needing somebody to spot you on gas money. You should have something. That means you should have a budget. Now, here's number three. All right, so first one is manage, plan. Number two is budget, work the plan. And here's number three. Number three, last but not least, save. That's what budgeting is. Budgeting is telling your money where to go, but included in that budget, you need to save. That's what they did. In this story in the Bible, they saved 1/5 of what they were bringing in. They saved a fifth. They saved a fifth because the famine, or the struggle, I'm gonna say struggle, the struggle was coming in 7 years, right? And so they put the money back, so when the time came that the struggle came, they had something. That principle is saving. You always want to save for a rainy day. I'm not gonna say for a rainy day, for the struggle days, for the emergencies, for the things that are unexpected. They saved it so that when the famine came, when the struggle came, they wouldn't starve to death. My brother, let me tell you, if you don't save, you're gonna starve to death out here. I'm telling you, if you don't save, you're gonna be broke, because the time is gonna come where you're gonna need to buy a tire for your car. The time gonna come where something gonna break on your car. Look, I've never understood this. First off, I'm not a fan of car notes. Everybody that know me knows that. I get on the bus, bro. I'll do that. And I had to do it for a while so I could build my money up, because I couldn't afford a car. I did that so I could save. I would much rather put money for a car note. I would much rather put that in my bank, save it. And you know, I'm just telling you, I would much rather have my money in my bank account than to be giving it to somebody else. And then, because when you can't afford the car note and something go wrong with the car, guess what? You're gonna have to use that car note money to get the car fixed. And you know what they're gonna do when you don't pay the insurance or the car note? You got it. They gonna come and pick it up. The point is that saving sometimes is hard. But again, remember what I said earlier. There is no success without sacrifice. You gonna have to sacrifice, my brother. You gonna have to sacrifice. Sacrificing is sometimes saving. You gonna have to put some money back. You need to be saving for emergencies, because you know they're gonna come. You don't know when they're gonna come, but you do know that they are going to come. There's an analogy that Jesus uses in the Bible when he says about the man who built on the solid foundation and the man who built um, on the unsolid foundation, the man who built on rock and the man who built on sand. The one thing that was common in both of their stories is that the storm hit both houses, and the one that was built on sand did not stand. I say that to you because saving is like building your your life on a rock, right? So I'm not going spiritual, I'm talking finances right now. Saving is like building the rock that you're going to build your life on. You need something, right? So that when the struggle come, when the unexpected things happen, when emergencies happen, you need to be able to dip into that. I, look, I'm gonna say this because you need to know that payday loans are a way to keep you in debt. Title loans are a way to keep you in debt. Pawn shops keep you in debt. That is you borrowing against your own money. It's like them saying this to you. How much do you make? You make $200 a week. Okay, I'll let you borrow $200 a week, but you got to pay me back $250 a week. It don't even make sense. But you do it because you don't have the emergency fund. This is one of the principles that Dave Ramsey talked about in his book also. Saving, having something put back. Emergencies will happen to everybody, but the grown-ups have something saved up for it. The kids will run to their mama. Mama, mama, I need daddy. Daddy, help me. Grown-ups have emergency funds. That means you need to be saving, my brother. Nothing screams immaturity like a grown-up who is not able to buy a tire, a grown-up that can't get his alternator fixed, a grown-up that can't afford to put a belt on his car. The car is nice, but you can't afford to get an oil change. My brother, your priorities are wrong. That number three, save. You shouldn't have to get a loan to buy a new tire. You shouldn't have to get a loan to do a car repair. You you shouldn't. There are some emergencies that come up that you just can't, you can't plan for. But you should have something. Here's the question that I want to ask you. After all of the money you made last year, when I'm talking about saving, right? And look, I know ain't nobody else gonna tell you this is a hard topic. Everybody hate talking about money. And I get it, right? I get it because everybody's struggling with money. But if you would do and implement these principles, you'll see that it won't be so hard to talk about money once you have it. But you'll never have it if you don't know how to manage your money, budget your money, and save your money. You'll never have it. You're gonna always feel some type of way when somebody starts talking about money when you don't have it. After all the money you made last year, how much money do you have left? Don't worry, I'll wait. After all the money you made last month, how much do you have left? I think it's a befitting question. After all of the money you made last month, how much money do you have left? Better yet, how much money do you plan on having at the end of the year? I think it's a befitting question. After all the money you made this year, how much do you have in your bank account right now? How much do you have in your bank account? I guarantee you that everybody that talk about the kind of truck that I drive, I like my truck. I love it. I mean, it ain't no hoop. It ain't beat up. It ain't broke down. But everybody that laugh about my truck, I let them laugh because I know you ain't got in your bank account what I got in my bank account. You might look like you do because of the car you drive, but that belongs to somebody else. If you miss a payment, they gonna come and get it. Ain't nobody coming to get mine. If a tire busts on that real fine car, guess what? You're gonna have to go get a pay loan to get it, a payday loan to get it. Me, I'm not gonna have to do that. I'm trying to get you to see what I'm saying. After all the money you made, how much money do you have? How much will you have saved by the end of the month? How much will you have saved by the end of the year? I want you to get this, man. Nobody gets financially stable by some stroke of good luck, nor by winning the lottery or coming into a large lump sum of money. But you get rich by accumulation over time. That means putting some money back, leaving it there, and then putting more money on top of that. And then putting more money on top of that. And if you keep snatching money out of there, that pile will never grow. But many people think that it's just one day you just wake up and you got money. It don't work like that. It takes time to build. That's why they say build wealth, because you have to put one on top of the other, on top of the other, on top of the other. I love you enough to tell you, my brother, you don't want to be broke the rest of your life. That means you need to start building something for yourself. Get you a bank account, a savings account without a card attached to it, right? and have a direct deposit when your check come. Make it like the taxes that they take out. Let them take that, drop it right into that direct deposit, so you ain't even seeing it. You ain't even gotta fight yourself to put it in there. It'll automatically go direct deposit right to your savings. And don't get yourself no card to that account. You need to be saving it. You need to be putting it back and not touching it. You need to be putting it back and letting it build up and letting it build up and letting it build up. And then one day you're gonna go. That's how I did. Look, there are so many times, right? I would build up, I would save up like $500, and then I would end up having to spend 300 of it. But you know what I did? I kept saving. Emergency would come up and I got to spend 300 of it. An emergency come up, I got to spend 200 of it. It was so hard to save, but I kept saving because eventually the time came to where when I had an emergency that cost the 300, I had more than 500 because I dedicated to just saving, putting it back, letting it grow, putting it back, letting it grow. And over time, it accumulated. Look, there was one time I had stashed some money in my closet, right? And it was months. I had forgot it was in there. I ended up going in there, cleaning up or looking for something, looking through something. Boom, find out that this money's still in there. Guess what? That same amount of money had the same value that it had when I put it in there. It was still sitting there. I say that because if you don't bother it, it'll still be there. I know it sounds simple, but most of the time you put it in there, but you steady taking it out. Get it? There are no shortcuts when it comes to money. There are no shortcuts. You gotta take the long way, which is saving, which is budgeting, which is managing your money. Because they saved in the story in the Bible, because they saved 1/5, they survived in a time of struggle. I'm saying this to you, my brother, because you my God, right? I'm saying this to you because you need to hear that. If you do not save, you are guaranteeing that you won't just be broke now, but you will be broke in the future. And just like I said at the beginning, it is hard for a woman to respect a man that ain't got no money. These things are not easy, but they are simple. If you want to see them work, you have to be willing to make the sacrifice. Get this for a little while. This ain't saying you got to live the rest of your life like this. This is just saying you got to live maybe the next year or the next 2 years like this to accumulate some money because you don't want to be broke. You don't know how good it feels to have something go wrong on your car and you got the money to do it. You ain't got to wait. You can just go, boom, get it right out the bank account, boom, go ahead and get it fixed. You right back rolling. Nothing beats that. All right. So with that, look, that's all I got for you, man. Those are three simple things that you can do. If you implement those things starting today, I guarantee you by the end of the year, you'll have you some money stashed. And it won't even hurt as bad. I'm gonna tell you what, if you think the sacrifice of doing it feels bad, I just want you to see how it feels when you looking at a certain amount of money in your bank account that don't belong to no bill collector, don't belong to nobody else but you, and you're free to do whatever it is that you want to do with it. So I leave you with that. Look, if you enjoyed this episode, man, hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button. If you didn't like this episode, tell me in the comments, right? These are simple things that you can do to build your money up. That's all I got for y'all. I'll see y'all next week. I got a good episode for y'all next week. So, man, make sure you checking it out. I'll see y'all next Friday.